Okay, so there we are. I am Facebook Live, not live, so I just had to give a few minutes. I am having trouble with my streaming app this morning. I thought maybe I could still record. I can't go live on my streaming app because my computer is old and it is no longer talking. All the stuff in the computer doesn't talk to each other anymore, but it won't let me do a recording either. It keeps freezing. So I am doing a Facebook Live, not live. And so anyway, welcome to my channel. If you have not subscribed, I hope that you do so and give this video a thumbs up, and please comment too, because that really does help my channel to grow. It helps me immensely and I really do appreciate it. I'm Tina Carini, Sponge and Stamp with Tina, and we are gonna recreate this card. I did this on Facebook Live last week, but the video got all messed up and everything, so we're gonna redo it. This is the technique that we're gonna do. It's a pinch fold, paper fold technique, and let's go ahead and get started. So what you're gonna need to make this card, we're gonna be using some different colors in designer series paper. You need a piece of cardstock that is 8.5 by 5.5, scored at 4 1/4. This is Lost Lagoon. To make this
Oops,
card,
sorry, hold on one second.
Okay, and then our designer series paper is Everyday Happiness. You'll need a 6 by 6. We have our layer for our front, which is, let me look at my measurements here. It's 4 1/8 by 5 3/8. Then we have our inside layer, which is the same, or you can make it smaller, which this actually is a tad bit smaller. I think it's 5 1/4 by 4. And then you need a scrap to punch a circle out. I use the 2 3/8 inch circle punch in Lost Lagoon. Then I die cut using my Stylish Shapes, the 3rd largest one. And let's see here. Oh, we're also using Brushed with Beauty. I just fussy cut out some flowers from one of the designs in that paper pack. It's beautiful paper. All right, so let's go ahead and start making this card. All right, so what you're gonna do is you're gonna bring in your paper trimmer. You're gonna have your 6 by 6 piece of designer series paper, and the first thing you're gonna do is cut off 3/4 or 3/4, however you say it, off at one of the ends. So I'm gonna do that. All right, we're gonna keep this because we're gonna need it. Then we're gonna flip our paper around and we're gonna cut, because now this is 5 1/4, or at least it should be, so let's check and make sure. No, it is not. This is 5 1/4. Right. That's right. Yes. Okay. So then we need 1 3/4 by 5 1/4 inch designer strips of paper. You're going to cut 2. So you're going to need 1 3/4, and we're going to cut 2. So we're going to do 1 3/4. So there's 1, and then we're going to cut another one at 1 3/4. And there we go. And then we're going to cut 2 1/2, which this should already be 2 1/2. Yep, by 5 1/4. So I'm going to make sure this is 5 1/4. It is. All right, so that is all we're going to do there. We're going to put this aside. Then we're going to bring in our layer. I'm going to make sure I have the right one here. I want this one right here. This one is the 4 1/8 by 5 3/8. Then what you're going to do is you're going to bring in your 2 1/2 by 5 1/4 inch piece of paper, and you're going to center it onto your layer where you have an even border from at the top and at the bottom and on the sides, or as even as you can get it anyway. And also you're going to decide which design you want. I think I'm gonna go with the plaid on this. So I'm gonna bring in my glue and I'm gonna glue this down. So let's put some glue on here. This is so easy to do, this card. I am gonna just line this up the best that I can. I use my liquid glue so that I have some wiggle room just in case I need it, which normally I do. All right, so I am okay with that. So that's gonna go there. Now what we're gonna do is we're gonna bring in these two pieces here, the 1 3/4. They're gonna go right here, just like so. We're gonna glue them just like that. And we're gonna leave an edge that's even around, all the way around. All right, I'm gonna put my glue here because it's just easier for me to do this. Just like that. And then I'm gonna come in here, line that up to the top and the bottom, giving myself an even border. Try to, anyway. Alright. And then we're going to do the same thing to this side. And then we are going to line this up. Come on. I know I put enough glue in here to wiggle. There we go. All right. And then we're just going to do like that. All right, so that's what it should look like. And then what you're going to do is you're going to fold this, but you don't want the white part of your cardstock, just to the corner of your paper. And then you're just going to fold this down to about the middle or wherever you want it to go. I'm going to fold that down just like that. And there we go. There's one fold. And then we're going to do the same thing to this side. And if your folds aren't exactly even at the bottom, it is okay, because you're not going to see that. So there we go. I got that one is done. Then we're going to flip it over to the bottom, and we're going to do the same thing here. So just like so. And I am okay with that. And then over here. So isn't this a really cool technique to do with this paper fold? I think it's a lot of fun, and I think it gives a really wow factor to your cards. It looks like an hourglass too. So it looks like you pinched it. If you bring it further down, like bring this one down and this one up a little more, it'll even, it won't make the card look more pinched up here and here, but in the center it will, but you won't see it. So then the next thing you do is, if you want to, you can glue these down, or you can leave them where they're lifted. It depends on what look you're going for to do it. But I'm gonna glue mine down, or at least a little bit. And I'm gonna put a little bit more glue right there. Just gonna hold this down for a couple of seconds. And then over here, hold that down. Oops, come on. All right, and then over here, like so. Okay, and then we're gonna put this aside. We're gonna bring in our white circle that we die cut. I'm gonna be using Birthday Wishes. I'm also gonna use Mossy Meadow. I couldn't decide if I wanted to use Night of Navy or Mossy Meadow because I just felt like the Lost Lagoon would be just so much tone on tone, and I'm gonna stamp this over to my right and a little high, just like so, and you'll see why in just a second. And now I am going to glue this down to our punched circle that we punched out in Lost Lagoon, and just put that down right there. I'm going to close this ink pad up so that we don't have any happy accidents. We're going to go ahead, this is not wanting to stick down for me, we're going to add a little bit more glue there. Just fold that down. Okay, and then we are going to sorry you guys, I just thought that we lost connection there for a second. I'm going to go ahead and fold this card, take my bone folder and give it a really nice crease, and then we are going to glue this down to our card base. And I am putting more glue than what I need because I have a smaller border and I need some wiggle room. How many of you guys need wiggle room? All right, there we go. Now we're gonna pop this up, so we're gonna put some dimensionals on here. And I'm just gonna put 3. I think that that's plenty. I'm gonna take the backs off of these. We're gonna stick that right in the center, like so. And now we're going to bring in this piece that we fussy cut from our scissors, and it's going to go just like so. I'm going to go ahead and glue this flat down. You could pop this up too if you wanted to, but I am just going to glue it flat down. I think I want this to go just like that. So there we go. Isn't that just beautiful? I love this technique. I hope that you give it a try. And then this piece here that we trimmed off, we've got to bring our trimmer in one more time because we have to cut this down to 5 1/4 because it's still at 6 inches. And this is the only piece of waste that you're going to have on a 6x6 piece of designer series paper to make this card. You can put this on the side over here or over here. I usually put it over here, but I've been kind of liking it over here, so we're going to put it there. You could use either side of your designer series paper, and we're going to just layer that, or adhere that, not layer it. You can put it over as wide as you want. And since my card is slightly smaller, I'm going to trim this just a teeny tiny bit. So I just have a tiny bit of overhang that I don't want, and a tiny bit here too that I don't want. Trying not to cut my card layer. There we go. All right, which I did slightly. All right, then we're going to glue this down, and I'm going to be very careful with my glue for this because I don't like, sometimes if you put too much glue you'll get little glue bubbles, or at least that's what I call them, and I don't like those. So there we go. Then it's all ready for you to write. And then one last thing we can do, we can dress it up with some strawberry slush and Pretty in Pink gems. So I thought that these ones, let me put this back on this paper. I thought this Pretty in Pink right here is really pretty because it's kind of got like a pinky gold look. So I thought those would be really pretty to place on here just to make it a little bit dressier. So I am gonna take this and I'm gonna put this one, let me see here. I'm gonna put this right here. I'm gonna take a little one and probably right here. And then we'll take another little one and we're gonna put it right there. So there we go. So I hope that you guys like this. Please remember, if you have not subscribed to my channel, I really hope that you do, because it does help my channel to grow, and thumbs up helps my channel to grow, and comments as well. And not only does it help my channel to grow, but it really encourages me and makes me happy, and I love to read your comments. Okay, you guys, thank you so much, and you have a wonderful day. Bye-bye.